Seattle Refined, a Northwest rocker's aha moment.
He slid it to me and said, everything's gonna change. This $2 bill is lucky.
The bizarre encounter that changed everything for Casper Baby Pants. Then,
So what's the deal with these babies?
well, they're just real popular. Refined dives into its latest and greatest drive-in adventure. Find out if your fave burger joint made the cut. Plus, 40 years later, the star of Flash Gordon shares the real story behind this camp classic. And we are on Cherry Blossom Watch. Seattle Refined starts now. Hey everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson, coming to you today from the University of Washington at the Quad, where the cherry blossoms are just ready to pop. Well, the great F. Scott Fitzgerald once famously said, there are no second acts in American lives. But don't tell that to Northwest rocker Chris Balu.
She's loved, she's in my head.
Back in 1995, Balu was the toast of MTV as the frontman for the alternative rock band Presidents of the United States of America. But at the height of the president's fame, Balu walked away, paving the way for a second act no one saw coming.
You like my roommates, they're a bunch of funny bugs. Spiders, ants, and beetles, and one super lazy slug.
Chris Balu is in his happy place, creating children's songs in his West Seattle studio.
I got the disco ball.
Kids are kind of like super drunk, happy people. You know, they're pooping in their pants, they're throwing up.
Took my love on over across the track.
He's the biggest kindy rock star in Seattle, and he wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm so happy. I'm not surprised that it's connecting. I'm just delighted.
Kids know him as Casper Baby Pants, but parents know him as a top 90s rocker.
Bitches come from a can, they were put there by a man.
Whose unusual path to stardom should surprise no one, considering the bizarre way it started.
So that $2 bill is what I got for change when I went to Olympia to record with Beck as my sort of audition to be in his band. And the dude who gave me that $2 bill in change at the bus station was like straight out of a Disney movie. He slid it to me and said, everything's gonna change. This $2 bill is lucky. And I kept it ever since because everything did change. That was my first job making music as a pro, so he was right.
After touring with Beck, Chris topped the charts with his own band, the Presidents of the United States of America.
She's loved, she's loved.
There was Lump, there was Peaches, Kitty. Those were the kind of the big ones off the first record.
Kitty, I'm a bullet in a wall to touch it. Kitty, I'm a bullet in a wall to touch it.
This is the very little guitar that is on the President's debut record. It's made with this little chintzy little guitar. I bought it for like 75 bucks and sold 4 million records with it, so it's a good investment. During that time, I had a little voice in my head that was saying, this is great, congratulations, but this is not it. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. And then I met my second wife, Kate, and her art is what really inspired me.
When we started dating, I was working on a children's book, and he was working on a President's album. And he would occasionally come over and kind of look at what I was doing, and he's like, I think I could do the kids' music version of that.
When I did and played it back, the giant cartoon light bulb went off. It's kids' music.
Run, baby, run. Run, 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 run. Run, baby, run.
Chris now cranks out top kitty hits, and his wife, who is a professional artist, creates his album covers.
We work well together because I can speak very clearly and directly to him, and he does not take it personally, and vice versa. And so there's some kind of push and pull.
I got 12 records done in 8 years and no end in sight.
Jump, baby, jump. Jump, 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 jump.
Casper Baby Pants is so popular, kids and parents come from all over the country to hear him play.
There are moments when I'm doing a Casper show when I'm literally surrounded by kids and they're in danger of like knocking my stuff over and unplugging my microphones, that it's more punk rock than any punk rock show the President's ever played or any rock show we ever did.
Right now, he's especially passionate about his latest album, Away We Go.
It has a very special song on it, Banana Bread.
Banana bread, we can be banana bread. We're not pretty, but we're not dead.
Which was actually written by my dearly departed daddy. And I found it, he and I wrote a few songs together while he was alive, but I found it after he died and I'd never seen it. It was just a verse and a chorus typed up, and I finished it and put it to music, and that's kind of like my favorite song right now.
Mommy and Daddy, I'm living in a free couch.
Now that the presidents have officially finished and broken up, I do get some sort of weepy-eyed fans at Casper shows sometimes, like, will you please play Peaches? I'm taking a break from those songs. There's a little nugget in the back of my brain telling me to possibly someday make a Casper Covers the Presidents album, where I might take the songs and deconstruct them and rebuild them as Casper songs.
She's in my head.
Casper Baby Pants has another album coming out this August. If you and your kids want to check out Casper Baby Pants live, he's got plenty of shows coming up. For more info, log on to our website. One thing every new parent dreads is traveling with a newborn. The crying, the diapers, the dirty looks from passengers, you know what I'm talking about. But there are ways to get out of town with your baby and still have a great time. Refined writer Kate Knighty just finished part 4 in her series of baby-friendly travel destinations. So far, Kate and her mini-me June have taken us to Whidbey Island, Mount Rainier, and Orcas Island. But for her latest trick, she and June took the train to Portland. And for any new parent out there, it is a must-read. Log on to the site and search for Traveling with Baby. I felt like I was about to have a baby after eating my way through my latest drive-in burger adventure. If you're a regular viewer of Refined, you know I am on a mission to visit every single amazing drive-in burger joint in the state. And I found 3 new ones that did not disappoint.
748?
Let's start our journey in White Center and the Boss Drive-In. They're the new kids on the block when it comes to old school hamburger joints.
Order up.
They started serving up burgers just a couple of years ago.
Most popular burger that we have is the Dub C. Dub C for White Center, Dub C.
Right.
It's 2 patties and lettuce, onions, pickles. It has cheese on both patties, and it's a big seller.
I'm a big guy, so I like to eat something real juicy, and it just tastes so fresh, and you know, you just got to come down here and try it for yourself.
So tell me about your French fries here. Everybody talks about the fries. Will you serve me up some?
Yeah, let's do it.
So what's the deal with these babies?
Well, they're just real popular. People like the crinkle cut. I don't think many other fast service places have the crinkle cut. You got to try the boss sauce.
And this is the sauce here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at these babies right here. Hot, right out of the grill, right out of the fryer.
Little spicy, little kick.
Oh, man. That's really good.
And 17 miles southwest of Bremerton sits Big Bubba's Drive-In on the Puget Sound with a great view of Case Inlet. You want a big burger? Try this beast, the Big Bubba.
Look at this, big as my head.
You need 2 hands to conquer it. It's a pound and a half of heaven.
I love Bubba's because the burgers are obviously awesome. Portions are great, and the drive down here is wonderful.
For the record, Big Bubba's Burgers is the bomb! Woo!
And after Seattle Refined viewers begged us to check out Scott's Dairy Freeze, we hightailed it to North Bend. And oh man, these guys are going strong. Simply decades of deliciousness.
It was just really old school. And you can see even the ice cream cone right there in the front, it's still there.
Same one outside, same one in the picture.
It's the same one. And that's why folks love it. Nothing's changed. People like that. It's kind of like greasy soul food. I kind of like to think of it that way.
All right, will you cook me up a burger?
Yes, sir.
Let's
do
go.
it.
Andy might be the new owner of Scott's, but he still carries the charm of the past, all the way down to this rare 2-sided grill.
We've had this grill for over 40 years. We've got 40 years of hamburgers and whatnot being cooked on this.
Wow, look at that thing.
So this is the same way we've been doing it since 1951, Guard.
This is your specialty right here.
This is our specialty.
Ooh, that is smoking hot. Okay, I'm gonna put this down here.
Woo! What do you think?
That's my kind of burger.
Awesome.
Oh, man.
Awesome. I'm glad you like it.
You guys serving up hamburgers and history here.
Exactly. Hamburgers and history.
Oh, that's good stuff. Thanks, Andy.
You bet. I'm glad you came out here.
To see any of my burger adventures, Log on to the website and search for Drive-In. And if you know a hamburger joint we need to try, drop us a line at hello@seattlerefined.com. Seattle Refined is just getting started. Daffodils, tulips, and cherry blossoms, oh my. 'Tis the season for flower power around the Puget Sound. But first,
I will destroy you.
a dark new comedy about the cutthroat world of high finance makes its West Coast premiere. We'll chat with the cast of Dry Powder.
A message.
Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. So often, great drama puts a mirror up to our society and allows us to see ourselves just a little bit better. And that's just what the new play Dry Powder does to the world of high finance over at the Seattle Rep.
I think the play is really about the morality and the ethics around high finance in the United States currently.
Landmark is about to solve all our problems.
The play really starts with me bringing in a new idea for a company that we can grow, maintain jobs in the U.S., and that it is immediately undercut by my rival Jenny, who's trying to find a way to gut the company and get a higher return.
My analysts do not love me. That's how you know their numbers are real.
Dry Powder, a dark comedy starring just 4 actors, dives into the world of those who have the power to manipulate our country's economy.
There's something really wonderful about and relevant about being able to really dig down deep into what has set up our financial system in the U.S., like what's working and what isn't, and to see, at the core of it is people, and what are the decisions, what are the driving factors that cause people to put money over the interest of lives.
But you advise me not to.
We're offering up a sort of super interesting sort of smorgasbord and letting people make their own ethical decisions. And you can tell from the way the laughs land or the way the audience responds on a given night sort of where their value system is hitting and interacting with the play. And I think that's something we can do best as artists, not tell you what to think, but ask questions that prompt you to think about the issues.
Ooh, that's a difference of at least $20 million.
$20 million?
At least.
I think that Sarah Burgess, who wrote the play, has a really wonderful way of humanizing these people, giving them 180-degree turns throughout, the things that they say versus the things that they actually want, how those change over time. And I think it really gives us a key in to how our economy has become what it is right now.
It's a really great ride, you know what I mean? You get a lot of interesting stuff, but it's a lot of fun. And it's I think a very unique take on it.
I will destroy you.
There's still time to see Dry Powder. It runs through April 15th. For ticket information, check out our website. Next on Refined, a VIP tour through a Northwest treasure you're going to want to visit. Then it was a movie so bad, it was good. The star of Flash Gordon explains what's to love about this vintage sci-fi bomb. Welcome back to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, spring is finally here, and that means one thing for sure, the Skagit County Tulip Festival. The annual celebration kicks off this Saturday and runs through the entire month of April. Hundreds of thousands of visitors come to the Skagit Valley every year to bask in the beauty of the colorful fields of tulips. Just remember, the festival can't control Mother Nature, so check the festival website to make sure everything is in bloom before you make the drive. If daffodils are more your speed, our Refined team paid a visit to Seabrook's Daffodil Festival. Every year, the picturesque coastal town throws a party to celebrate the arrival of spring. If you couldn't make it, check out our gallery on SeattleRefined.com and put it on the calendar for next year. We're also at the mercy of Mother Nature for the annual cherry blossom bloom. According to the University of Washington, the gorgeous flowers are expected to burst from their buds this week, and there's no better spot to take in the majesty than the Japanese garden over at the Arboretum. Blossoms are the first to say hello, greeting you before you enter the garden. Inside, the grounds are exquisite.
When I'm walking through the garden and I'm looking at the garden, my focus is on how everything relates to each other. Mm-hmm. So when you stand and you look at the long views of the garden out over the pond or from the top of the hill looking down, you get to see the entirety of it. And there's something about that where all the pieces are coming together.
3.5 acres of manicured magnificence. Built in 1960, the Japanese garden never stops growing, from the vines to the visitors. A record amount of guests absorbing its radiance. Every plant, shrub, and tree meticulously cared for. So is it safe to say that every one of these trees out here, every shrub, every bush, you guys hand cut?
Yeah, down to the very needles and leaves in a lot of cases.
Japanese sculptures also enhance your experience. The water delivering life, energy, and reflection. This is a special place.
It's really neat to see how people get a chance to get in here, relate to the space, and have a real experience.
Seattle's Japanese Garden is located in the Arboretum. Visit their website for location and hours. We'll be right back, but first, our Tech Tango tip of the day.
If you frequently use the same websites such as Gmail or Facebook, try pinning the tabs in your browser window for quick access. When you pin a tab, it takes up less space, showing just the icon rather than the full name, making the window less cluttered. Each time you open the browser, the pinned tabs are in the same location. You don't need to open each website, just click on the tab. Pinning can be done in most web browsers either by simply dragging an open tab to the pinning area or by right-clicking on the tab and choosing Pin Tab. Drag them to your preferred order. I pin my mail and social media accounts for quick access. I'm Francine Black with your Tech Tip Today. For more great tips, visit techtangotoday.com.
Calling all up-and-coming designers hoping for a big break. Apply now to compete in the Independent Designer Runway Show. It's part of Fashion Week at the Bellevue Collection. Your designs will be featured on the runway, and you could win a $5,000 prize package. The application deadline is this Saturday, so act fast. Head to fashionweekbellevue.com for more information. Welcome back to Refined. Well, sometimes movies are so bad you can't help but love them. Camp classics like 1989's Roadhouse or 1995 Showgirls are so intoxicatingly awful, they are great. And then there's Flash Gordon. Flash! Savior of the universe. Anyone who grew up with cable television in the 1980s has seen this sci-fi bomb, and if you haven't, you probably should. So when Flash Gordon star Sam J. Jones rolled into Salt Lake Comic-Con recently, our inner geek knew we needed to talk to him. Flash! Savior of the universe.
When I first saw it, yes, it's camp. If we just eliminate all that brainstorming and just sit back and enjoy the ride. I get this call from Seth MacFarlane. He said, when I was 8 years old, I saw the movie, and it impacted my life so much. I knew I wanted to be a creative type person, and I want to bring you in to do a spoof, a parody, to basically play yourself. I said, okay, great. But after I read the script, I said, Seth, this is pieces and parts of me, but it's not really all of me. Did I party in the 80s? Yes, a little bit. But so we had to tweak and revise quite a bit. It's time for the fans to tell their story. But when you hear stories, which I'm hearing now at 62 years old, where you're looking at a 40-year-old man who's standing there with his wife and 3 kids. He was 12 years old, and he came from a dysfunctional home. And so he's thinking about that, suicide, and he's got this VHS of Flash Gordon in his hand, and he puts that in, and he tells me how that me and my character transported him to another time and place and gave him hope and value to live. So I was like, yeah. Because I look at him, a 40-year-old man with his wife and 3 kids, they would not be there. They would not be standing right there.
Your power is fading me.
All right, that'll do it for today's show from the University of Washington. Yes, where the cherry blossoms are this close to really popping. I'm Gard Swanson. We'll see you next time on Seattle Refined.